Well, here we are. One of these days I'm going to get an introduction before anyone starts clapping. So the first thing you see is me talking and not everyone start clapping. Anyway, welcome to the Friday Night Wisdom Chambers Youth Review. We're following hot on the heels of last week's phantasmagorical show with James Valentine.
It was good.
We received a stack full of letters complimenting us on job well done, and to get in more celebrities and people of some notoriety. We've managed to do that this week, and we've contacted Gemma, who's been nice enough to come in and help introduce the show tonight.
Guys.
Gemma, welcome aboard once again. How has your week been?
Oh, it's been alright.
One of those exam week blues?
One of those exam week blues, yeah. Must say you're looking particularly spiffy tonight. What's the occasion?
Well, Gemma, you know, I mean, I saw James come in last week with a coat, and I thought, well, if he can do it, you know, I jolly well can too. It doesn't take much,
You need
does
a tie now, one of those nice ones with the hula girls on it or something. Yes.
I must say, the accumulated sweat that's been building up under this shirt, which I've been wearing for about the last 3.5 months now, needs to go fairly shortly, so perhaps a change of wardrobe for next week might be appropriate.
Perhaps. Anyway, coming up on tonight's show, we've got a few tapes of a dance that you recorded earlier in the week, didn't you?
That's right, yeah, stick around for this. Don't go and get a cup of coffee or whatever you do during the breaks out there, because this happens to be an exceptional piece of
art.
art, yeah, it would be called art. It was a dance performed up at the Hyde Park Barracks by two young female dancers who choreographed the work to deal with the Hyde Park Barrack themes, which are old people, you know, the early convict, the early settlement type period. And we had someone there doing a kind of making of video which was being done for it. So stick around and have a look at that.
And it's really interesting because I looked at that beforehand. And then we've got Raj on, and he's going to interview 3 guests, but that's a surprise.
Not 1, not 2, not 3. Where are they from? Where are the guests from?
I have no idea. That's why it's a surprise. We've also got Drugs in the 90s and Couch Potatoes.
Indeed, this week we stick around for that, because that's going to be a bonus this week. We're dealing with the Gardening Australia show. Doesn't often get a look in on many of the TV review programs around Australia, but I thought it was my job to do so this week.
I must say, next week you'll have to do Burke's Backyard, because me and Nathan, who's actually the cameraman tonight, saw an ad, and it's actually a Nimbin special on Burke's Backyard.
Oh, really? They took the whole crew.
He could be teaching you how to grow a few weeds, so to speak.
Don Burke went up to Nimbin.
Yes.
And survived.
Yeah.
Incredible.
He's doing a Nimbin special.
Wow, that would be interesting. Although I have a gripe with Don Burke, because the Don Burke Backyard show is being brought on and is cutting off about 2 hours of the cricket when the cricket season starts.
Bummer!
Not a person in this studio gives a flying toss about that, but it happens to matter very deeply to me, and I just thought I'd get that off my chest. Gemma, go right ahead.
And we've also got Film Forum, and that's about it for tonight.
With Erin, who is not yet here, but as always will arrive just in the nick of time.
With bells on, of course.
Bring you the segment that matters most.
Absolutely.
All right. Gemma, just one last question. This, the Olympic, head of the International Olympic Committee was in Sydney today in a brief 3-day visit. Has your school been contacted by any of the Olympic representatives, Sydney representatives, to perform anything or to do anything special? Because what I read in the newspapers is that schools are being asked to, you know, perform things and put on a good front. Has that happened at your school?
I wouldn't say at our school, because at our school we're all sitting down and putting our heads down and
but the younger
our 4-unit
generation
science.
Years.
Don't think so.
No?
Not that I know of.
Right.
But it should be interesting.
Well, I noticed in the paper, I mean, everyone in Sydney was asked to be particularly good today and to wear our I Support Sydney 2000 Olympic t-shirts, like we've all got one in the closet, just waiting to wear it for when he comes to Sydney. Yeah, right. So anyway, he's here for 2 more days, and it was sunny weather today, which I guess...
It was. It was quite a nice day today.
I think
we must be getting desperately talking about the weather.
Yeah, I'm going to come to grips more with the Olympic issue, because it's a big issue, and we haven't really discussed it much on CTV, but as time draws closer, I think we will. Anyway, Gemma, let's get on with the show. What are we throwing to now?
We are throwing to some more of the dance that you... Alex Vangus, is it called?
Alex Vargas, yes, indeed.
Alex
Not to be confused
Vangus.
with
on here.
Hagen Vase ice cream.
Alex Vargas. All right, Alex Vargas then. So
interesting name, but a more interesting composition. So stay tuned for that, and stick around for later in the show. As we always say from the introduction, bye for now.
See ya.
On assignment for the community television station, and we are here to investigate a strange phenomenon called the cord. Now, if you follow this cord down here, you will find that it leads to a light. If we look on, we can see more lights, and surrounded are lights and cameras, and there's a reason for this, very good reason, and that is we are here to watch the making of the dance video, which name escapes me for the moment, and which light is about to singe my hair. But we're in at the Hyde Park Barracks, just on Macquarie Street, and we're watching two young dancers strut their stuff, although strut probably isn't the word for this kind of dancing, to the accompaniment of Gaelic tunes, I believe.
Where's my spanner?
We can see Shane, Phil, Marianne, Paddy, myself, and we're the dedicated crew, dedicated to seeking out stories of interest. And with that, I'm going to wrap it up, Tim, because I'm getting...
What was that newspaper that Clark Kent used to...
What's that? It's time to straight to Damala.
Ready? Comments.
Sorry?
Comment.
No.
Yes.
Comments. Just try and put up with Mr. Patience
Okay,
himself. So, yay. Check out the fully.
Oh, what's your feet?
Use your handle steady cam.
Tape's rolling. Okay, start the music. Stand, please.
No, it's good. It's just unfortunately it's not as steady. Like it's a bit too rocky still. You might be better off with the actual boom. It's the same sort of thing.
No, stop the tape. Let's have a
This is is a fantastic opportunity for us, and we've performed this piece for a week so far here at the Barracks, so it's a great opportunity for us to sort of actually get it on film. It's a great space, and yeah. Janet?
The ambience in this room was so striking that we felt that with film it would we'd be able to accentuate all those features about this piece that we've created here.
And it's about old ladies. It's about old ladies. The female inhabitants here at the Barracks from about 1886 to 1880.
And also about the young immigrant women who came out from Ireland during that period as well, who lived here before they went on to become cooks or servants or wives to the outlying colonies.
New people in the colony and things.
And what does your dance do?
It just explores that period of the Barracks, basically. That within this room there were hundreds of women that lived here until they died or until they went on to become new people in the colony. This is the room in which they lived. Yeah, and died.
We've taken a ghostly interpretation of that. We've sort of becoming the spirits of those women who've come out and shown the people what their lives were like, and then disappearing back into the walls of the Barracks.
They did a lot of sewing too. That's why they had pins in their mouths, because the Barracks found pins around the fireplace, so they assumed that the old women would sit around the fireplace and sew, etc. Hence the lace and things.
Just talk about white and white, isn't it?
There's a really nice shot in here where it's really deep, and you can almost see the length of her, and that was in the first one, but not so much in the second one. You know, like that sort of angle, so you see the height of the room, and she looks a bit sort of more surreal or something.
Can you go down lower on some shots?
Yeah, I can actually. That wobble there is caused by me when I come up the thing. What I might do is I might reverse the camera. And walk forward with it and have the camera going backwards.
So that's where you have the...
Yeah, I can see it.
That was a good one too.
That's a good one.
The way in which the lace is.
Yeah, I saw the lace there.
I'm just worried about the actual down a bit, because we really want the headroom to be sort of right to the end. That's what the problem is.
Okay, well I'll change the weight on the camera and see if we can do it one more time. One more time for the dummies. Run it through again, good.
Peter, come in.
Come on, it's going well.
I'll have to come to see what it's like.
There you go. Good going spot now.
And is this sort of an extra from Alien? Which Alien?
Oh, Alien
Which
5. Alien 5.
Turn cockroach.
Give that man a camera. Yeah, stop.
How can you not be influenced by the dance vibes in a place like this? Subconsciously my foot starts moving and grooving to the beat of Gaelic strains.
Do it again. Sorry. Oop. I lost it.
Didn't understand.
Oh shit. What I don't need is that.
turn this side off, Shane.
Drop it.
Up a bit. And straight across.
Should be within like.
And no, just before you drop it. Okay, rolling. Drop it.
Could you get the this chrome?
You hold it there, Nick.
They've got a couple of shots with certain coats that hired for tonight.
They happen up this end of the room, so perhaps after this stuff we can...
It's the arrival stuff where we do with the crowded crowd scenes, and we both come through these doors and move through here through, so...
Yeah. Okay.
Because even if you don't get the other shots in...
Good work, guys. No worries, we'll get it. Who put this on? Nick? Haven't you ever heard of...
Daly.
Whatever you're about to say, no.
I don't know.
Let it go then.
Let it go.
Okay, forward.
You want it actually a bit wider than that. Forward, hang on.
As soon as that cools down, we'll change the valve.
Nick!
Down a bit.
No, Nick, what are you doing with the ribbon?
Not the ribbon.
We want the ribbon to stay as it is.
Oh yeah, that's really romantic.
Okay, down. Pete, you want to go down? Okay, we ready? It's gone up pause. Okay, it should be recording. Okay, I got somebody's feet in the way. I won't say who they are. Want to move your feet? Hang it, Tim. Okay, dolly back. Okay. Gently. Get up a bit, Tim.
Then move.
Straight up.
Hello. Welcome to Whatever. This is our very first segment, and basically we're just going to talk about whatever. And tonight I have with me 3 guests, and it might be a record for the studio, I'm not too sure. And they're from SICH, which is known as Student Initiatives in Community Health. And I'd like you to meet Marnie and Donna and Melinda. Thank you for coming in. Can I start with a bit about the history of SICH? Like, when did it start and so on?
Everyone's looking at me. SICH started in about 1975. It was basically a group of mostly medical students who were pretty dissatisfied with the education they were getting. They didn't like it for two things, basically because there was a lack of interdisciplinary education. That meant that they didn't have any contact with other students in the health field,
Right,
and
like
also
nurses and
all that sort of thing, and just a lack of actually getting out into the community so that they were learning about sort of things without meeting people.
Wanting an involvement in society rather than just being educated.
Right.
Yeah.
Theory.
How did the movement actually start? Was it just like a band of medical students getting together and involving nursing and other health-related?
Yeah, they sort of got together and approached AMSA, Australian Medical Students Association, and sort of working with them, they managed to get some federal funding from the Department of Health, and that's sort of when things started to grow.
And what objectives did they have as a group?
Yeah,
Foundation?
I guess like there were quite a lot of different little objectives, but the main thing was to promote a social view of health, and a lot of what SICH has done has been aimed at sort of seeing health in a broader sense. It's not just sort of fixing up illnesses as they come along, but seeing health as part of the whole of society, and it's determined by your social position, welfare, all those sort of things.
More sort of general housing situations, and rather than just whether you were sick or not, just how you
So
fit
it was
into the
a more holistic sort of view of looking at
holistic as in society and
not as
body.
in like body, so there was some saga, was it last year or the year before about...
Start of last year.
Yeah, what was that all about?
Well, again, I didn't get involved till recently, so Donna.
Well, basically, it was SICH has been funded by the Health Department since about 1975, and firstly in 1991, well, SICH has been doing a lot of different things and tends to get into trouble for some things because we try to basically do things from a community level, which often offends governments or certain groups in the community. In 1991, the government got upset, or particularly the opposition, the Liberal Party, got upset about one of our issues of Catalyst, the magazine.
That's your...
our journal. And there was a bit of a controversy over that because we had an article which was written by a student who was working as a sex worker, and a lot of people, well, a particular Liberal Party politician thought that this would be a good thing to get at the government, saying, why are you funding this organisation of student ratbags who try to get people to be prostitutes?
You showed me earlier that quote, that's something he said. Was that in Parliament he said that?
This was actually the Coalition Waste Watch Committee did an investigation into SICH.
Maybe you'd like to read that out?
Well, Senator Paul Calvert said SICH is devoted to promoting civil disobedience, rejecting society's norms and encouraging public promiscuity at the taxpayer's expense.
We were pretty proud of that.
We didn't mind at all.
What was the amount of money that we were actually receiving? It was quite substantial.
Yeah. SICH was getting about 190,000 a year, which was really, it was good funding because it enabled SICH to actually have a genuinely national organisation, which meant that we could get students together twice a year for national meetings, which, like thinking of Australia being such a big country, we can actually pay for some students to be able to get to wherever we had the meetings, could produce the journal and also fund projects that different collectives had.
What sort of projects have you done in the past, and I'll ask you about the current ones later, but like in the past, what initiatives have you undertaken?
There's been quite a lot over the history. Started out doing family-based studies where groups of students would have a particular family, like they sort of found people in disadvantaged areas and would try to find out what all their needs were. So this is sort of trying to incorporate the social view of health, so not just their their medical needs, but their whole social needs
Education
as well.
and
All that sort of thing to identify why they are sort of disadvantaged, I guess. They've set up one of the early youth drop-in centres. SICH was instigating that. Had things like prisoner visit schemes where students would organise so that they'd have a roster system and they'd be all go out and visit prisoners at certain times.
Is that for company or?
Yeah, the whole sort of thing was not only to help those prisoners but also for students to be aware of things that they probably just wouldn't see, you know, living in a very insular university.
Broaden their horizons.
Yeah.
Another aspect of that sort of broadening your horizons was the vocational placement scheme that SICH was running and had specific funding for. Was it where students could actually work on community health programs that were being run?
Yeah, the federal government provided funds and some state governments as well, so that students could get money to cover their expenses, and SICH basically coordinated it. So I found different community health programs and all sorts of things where students could just say, you know, I want to do something in this area like women's health or domestic violence or something, and they'd find a place and work there and get enough money to cover their expenses.
And so since you've been defunded, how do you raise your money now, or is it like stretching things?
It's pretty thin.
Now I suppose SICH is trying to get active on different campuses nationwide, although it's mainly sort of Sydney University.
Have you had to close any of your other state organisations at all, or?
Sort of relied more on the interest levels and whether the students at each campus that want to start it up again, basically, rather than
things sort of
closing.
Slowed to a halt last year, and so now we're just getting things going again, mainly in Sydney and in Melbourne. So I suppose accessing, you know, funds as a student organisation through student unions and student representative councils.
And then focusing on certain organisations that might have an interest in that specific issue that we're focusing on, approach them for funds. So this is what we're doing, do you want to help us out?
There's also, I was reading in the paper the other day, some controversy about some letter that the University of Sydney sent out. What's happening there? What's that all about?
That's your start.
That was an issue that SICH decided to focus on at the start of this year. It was a letter that health students at Sydney Uni received that suggested that they may not be able to get their degree because of a certain New South Wales Health Department regulation that had just come in. And SICH felt it, along with the SRC of Sydney Uni, felt it was very discriminatory and insensitive. And we've decided to have a barbecue on Wednesday at the Mallet Street nursing campus, and we're having speakers talking about HIV, Hep B, to try and get some sort of education to students and the facts about transmission, and because we felt that the letter was sort of uninformed and more of a scare campaign.
Well, the first letter that was sent out by the university basically said that if you were HIV positive or Hep B or C positive, then you would not be able to perform so-called exposure-prone procedures, which were part of your clinical training, so therefore you may not be able to get your degree.
And what did they define as exposure-prone?
Well, that's the thing, they didn't define exposure-prone procedures in their letter.
So it's this large grey area?
Which
to most people that don't have access to the real definition.
So that's all that was said in that letter, and there was quite a lot of outrage about that letter from different people.
SRC and students.
And then they actually, the university didn't say they would retract that letter, but they had a second letter which they said they were going to send out, which in fact didn't, all the second letter did was justify the sending out of the first letter, and it sort of, basically said
that... It's a bit more nebulous.
It said, we don't want to discriminate against people, but if you are, positive, then your ability to complete your degree may be compromised.
Right.
So, it was...
Same thing in a different way.
Yeah, and very
Less
vague.
clear.
Right. And I understand that you've been able to get the Students' Rep Council to launch a court case against, is it the university or the Department of Health?
Yeah, Sydney, the Student Representative Council of Sydney University has taken Sydney University to the Anti-Discrimination Board under the new Disabilities Act, which came in March.
I think it's the first case that will go through that way.
Yeah. And what's the outlook for that? Are you hopeful?
Yeah, always hopeful.
Well, see, it's a conciliatory procedure, so I suppose what that means is that hopefully we can discuss, what exposure-prone procedures are and what the issues really are, because the issues just aren't getting discussed. The fact is that if students are at risk of, transmitting viruses to patients, then the students themselves must also be at risk of contracting.
I think SICH sees its role as more of an educational one, and through this forum we're sort of trying to get across, what is AIDS, what is HIV, what are your risks of transmission both ways, and try and get an awareness.
And what about, just moving away from that topic, but generally speaking, what do you think, what sort of things that the government isn't doing now do you think they could do to promote some sort of public awareness of health? Do you have any ideas?
I think with the universities, the actual administration and the people that sent out this letter need to be educated in a way of how to present issues to students. And I know that's something that came up at the SRC at least, was these people just don't know enough about the issues. They've got to be educated on AIDS. And
so they're sort of ignorant themselves.
Yeah, and sort of get someone from the AIDS Council or whatever they are to come in and talk to the
We can see
administration.
that there's just still so much to be done when you've got, just recently with all that stuff about the vilification legislation that's coming in New South Wales, and you've got these people sort of coming out and saying, those doctors coming out and saying, if only we could ban homosexuals and anal sex, then there'd be no AIDS. And there's so much that needs to be done in that sense, because people are still very ignorant, and that is...
I find that amazing that doctors are saying that, because they're the ones who should know that you don't have to be gay to, to contract AIDS.
Yeah,
it's like not the only way that it's done.
But when they've got that prejudice, they're sort of blind to the facts.
Right.
Yeah. And a lot of what SICH has done in sort of sexual health education and things like that has been to try and overcome all the moralising and things like that, to have effective education, because particularly a lot of the stuff SICH has done is tried to do education among young people, peer education, and a lot of that does involve getting away from all the moralising and really just talking about the issues.
Does that involve like forums and basically talks?
We had a safe sex kit in our week
right.
A few years ago.
Yeah.
Lots of
and hopefully will again.
Yes.
Next year.
That's another plan of ours, is to
Are you
relaunch
currently
that.
lobbying to get your funding started up again?
Yeah, writing all the letters.
Yeah.
Brushing up to the right people.
Yeah. But basically, I think, we'd be unlikely to get this funding situation back again.
Right.
But as SICH had that base, that's something that we can build on, and it's still a group of students concerned about the same issues, a sort of group of activist students. So it's not, although the funding made it a lot easier, it's not necessary in that sense that SICH will just die without it.
Do you think in hindsight, what you've been going since 1975, that you've done pretty well, or do you think you could
I think it's a good organisation. I think it's got a lot of things that it can do, just in the way of education that are really important, and we can do a lot of that without funding, and maybe run fundraisers for sort of issues.
So you'd like lots of people to come along on Wednesday?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, maybe we can give you a plug. Whereabouts is it?
Mallet Street Nursing Campus.
Right.
On Wednesday the 19th at 1 o'clock, and it's a free barbecue.
Free barbecue,
Yeah.
free feed.
It's actually in the park across the road from the
Camperdown Park.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks Marnie, thanks Melinda, and thanks Donna.
Thanks, Raj.
We've got next, what have we got next? We've got,
South Australia.
take on South Australia, Granite Island I think it is, so hope you've enjoyed this and see you later.
welcome to another segment of Drugs in the 90s program. If you happened to be with me last fortnight, you'll remember that I was talking about detoxing from opiates or heroin. What I want to talk about today is another alternative that people can use if they want to get off heroin, and that is methadone. And with me today, so I'm not sitting here raving and talking to you for the next 20 minutes, I'll be talking to two people. The first one is Amelia, who's actually a consumer person from a methadone clinic, and Sue from Community Services from the New South Wales Users and AIDS Association. So over to you, Amelia. We talked a little bit in the break about methadone and your experiences. First of all, what is methadone?
Methadone is sort of a legalised sort of form of a drug. It's instead of heroin, it's a syrup instead of heroin to sort of so you don't get the cravings for heroin.
So you actually don't inject supposedly methadone?
No, you drink it.
Swallow it.
Just like a cough medicine. It tastes just as revolting.
And what do you think are the differences between methadone and heroin? Why do people go on methadone, do you think?
Because it's I suppose it's an easier way for your body to get off heroin. You don't have the awful withdrawals and the pain, but it's not water soluble like heroin, so once you're on methadone it takes a long time to get off it. So they did experiment at one stage with just a quick 6-week sort of program, and you get on it just to come off the heroin, then come off the methadone, but they've decided that's no good because it's not just the taking of methadone that sort of changes you from sort of using it, it's changing your whole lifestyle. So changing your friends, changing where you live, changing your sort of work to get it out of that environment, the drug environment, basically.
It's one of the things about methadone too is that it actually lasts between 24 and 36 hours.
So they say. Sometimes it doesn't feel like that.
But like with heroin, you've got to
inject every
and then you've got to have another taste.
Sure. So, and also another thing with the methadone is you just don't get that craving like that. Oh God, I've got to have something now. That you can get through and actually lead a normal sort of life without sort of having your whole life rotate around when you're going to score and what you're going to get and whether you get ripped off and all that sort of stuff. You don't have to worry about that. But it seems that some people sort of, the only sort of negative thing to that is some people might see it as a legalised sort of way of getting a drug and they become addicted to the methadone. So I don't know.
You don't actually, once you get stabilised on methadone, you're actually not stoned, are you?
No.
It just stops you with
It just stops you getting those cravings. So, whereas if you'd sort of come off the heroin by detoxing, sort of usually you have those awful cravings for a few days and then you sort of normal again. With the methadone, you sort of, it keeps you at a level without having to go through that pain. So it's almost sort of putting it on hold for a while to get everything else sorted out.
And you mentioned before that they actually prefer people to be on for about a year now because,
it gives you that time to sort of get your life together and get away from that scene, because usually it's not the fact that you just use, your whole life is sort of centred around it, your friends are using and you're in that sort of lifestyle, so it gives you the chance to change that.
In fact, when methadone was first introduced years and years ago in the States, it was the rationale behind it was that drug addiction was like another health disease, and that people that were addicted to opiate type drugs were actually lacking something in their physiological makeup, and methadone provided that was lacking. And when methadone came to Australia, people, as they often do, developed their own sort of style of program and thought, well, we can't have people on methadone for a long time, so we'll put them on for a short term, get them off heroin, and then just whack them back out in the street. And then, of course, it didn't work, and they go, see, methadone doesn't work. But in fact, the powers that be weren't operating the methadone program in the way it was designed to be used. And it's taken HIV to come to Australia and people to reassess methadone's value and say, well, it's got a place in terms of harm reduction in transmitting HIV, so let's reassess how it works. And they went back to the research and saw that how methadone works is at high dosage, so the cravings and stuff were blocked out and for a long period of time.
There's a lot of the people I know who are on methadone, they seem to say it's something that is a part of their life forever. They can't see it sort of leaving them. It becomes a habit, sort of also going to pick up your methadone, and it's a way of keeping that sort of. Well, it's like this with Alcoholics Anonymous, which most people are sort of aware of. they say you're an alcoholic for life, or you're a drug addict for life, and a methadone is a way of keeping that under control so that you don't have to go back to using and maybe using dirty needles and getting involved in that sort of scene. So, yeah, I don't know sort of if that's what's happening.
So, do you actually have to pay for methadone? How does it actually work?
It depends on the program. There are public programs that are run by health department. I think health department sort of oversees all sort of methadone programs, or there's private clinics that are run by doctors, and you have to pay for the private ones. The public ones you don't have to, but for the public programs you have to be unemployed or usually pregnant mother, HIV positive, whatever, to usually get on, because there are hardly any places in public programs. And private programs usually cost, I think, between $5 and $6 a day, and some people do pick up at chemists, and that costs them I think it ranges in price from $1 to $5 a day. So it depends on, some people work and they can afford to go to private programs, and they're run quite differently as well. The private programs, I've been on both, private and public. At the private program I had to see a doctor weekly so that he could give me a prescription, and also to find out what was happening sort of with my life and everything, and I thought that was a great idea. At the public program I only see a doctor once a year, so I feel with the public program that you don't have that sort of someone there to sort of assess how you're going and to go to if you need anything, and I think that's quite important when you...
Yeah, a lot of people seem to have this idea that if you're on methadone you don't need any other support or counselling.
That's it, see you later.
Yeah. And in fact some people don't want that, and I think it's really important when you're talking about any treatment that to remember that each person involved in treatment is a person, and it's really easy. The community at large sees drug addicts as being this seething mass of death, destruction and deviance, and they forget that that community is actually made up of several different types of people, and so too are people on methadone. And while some people like that high intervention when they're getting counselling and they're getting information about how to feed their kids the best and all that kind of stuff, other people simply want to be able to get on with their life, go to a chemist every day, drink their dose in the chemist and go on with their day. And that's what's sometimes lacking in the programs, is that the rules and regulations are so rigid.
You
that
either
they
have
don't
to do
allow
it
for
or you don't have to. There's no choice. At the public program I'm on at the moment, you don't have that choice. I suppose there's someone on call, but if you have a problem, you're not likely to say, oh, I'll ring up and I can make an appointment. It's right at that moment that you have the problem, and there's not someone on sort of call at all times to answer what problems you have. The staff are great. You can sort of see the nursing staff that run the clinics. They're fine, but maybe they don't have all the answers.
What some of the stuff that we were talking about in the break was the fact that this is one particular health service where consumers or users of the service don't have a lot of rights. So what are some of the issues that come up for you as a consumer advocate?
Well, I have some weeks where I spend days and days on the phone just dealing with people. The basic problem is people that are going on to methadone aren't given much information as to what the treatment actually constitutes. And when you undertake any health service, whether it be to go and get your appendix out or have a baby or whatever, or have a HIV test, you've got to give what's called informed consent, which means you get a certain level of information about what treatment you're about to receive, and then you say, yeah, I understand that, and go ahead with it. Now, for whatever reason, whether it be that the people that are going onto the program are in a state of crisis in terms of their using and they're wanting help and they're willing to say yes to anything because they just want to get on dying or whatever, people don't get information, and so a year or so down the track they want to come off, they find out the prescriber says no, you can't come off, or you can't come off as quickly as you like. Like the policy recommends that people are dropped 5 milligrams every week. Now for someone that's on 100 milligrams, that's a long-term process, than wanting to get off straight away. Other people might want to go on a holiday, for example, or their grandma might have died in Queensland and they want to go to Queensland for the weekend, and lo and behold they can't get a transfer, they can't transfer their dose to be picked up there. I mean, it's not like insulin where you can just go to the chemist and pick it up and take it away. There's a lot of problems in terms of power play between doctors and the clients, and they wield the whip and say, if you don't behave the way I want you to behave, I'll kick you off.
Dangling in front of you. If you're a good girl, you can have this, and if you don't comply and your wee's got some heroin in it, you're not allowed to have takeaways.
I mean, there's not too many health services where you have to urinate in front of a camera or in front of a person, because we know that you're an untrustworthy person. And
So
basically,
why do you have to urinate? A lot of people don't know that.
They have to do they test you to see if you are using. I suppose it's for their records as well, but
so they test for other drugs.
They test for heroin. They test the levels of methadone. They test whether you've used Valium or Seropax, or
they don't test for marijuana.
No, they don't test for marijuana, which is, I don't know whether that's good or not. And it's also a way of probably keeping you in line. You can't just say, okay, you can have your methadone and then have people that are using all the time on top of it, because they see it's a waste of money that person's getting methadone, I suppose. And they're also not sort of helping themselves, really.
But research shows that urinalysis is in fact quite ineffective in terms of a person's treatment, and in fact you're setting people up to lie by setting that system in place.
A lot of people do. They try to take in someone else's wee, and they'll do anything to get around it, because that's what they're used to doing in the drug scene. They're used to lying and cheating and sort of having to scam their way through things, and that's what they're just used to doing.
Yeah, and just like, I guess, different people on methadone have different, philosophies and stuff, so too
and
different
it's an invasion of
programs.
privacy, I suppose, they think, but they say you have to think, well, I'm not going to get my methadone if I refuse to do it, so you get used to it, you sort of get desensitised to it, that someone's watching you do a wee.
And not all clinics watch people. I mean, that's a really important point. Some people are actually starting to become quite enlightened and realise it doesn't work, and they develop relationships with their clients, and the clients tell them if they're using, and rather than saying, well, you're very bad and you get kicked off and punished for that, they say, well, that means your methadone isn't working. Do you need to have the dose bumped up?
That sounds really logical, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I think years ago friends have told me that it was just so strict. If you had a dirty urine, that's it, you're off the program. But now they are treating you more as a person and discussing with you and trying to counsel you or whatever if you do have a problem. So I think that's one good thing about them.
So what happens to someone who might be watching today and they get into trouble, they get kicked off the program, or they just feel like they've been treated unfairly? What sort of things can they do as a consumer?
Well, there is an appeal process that is in place in the policy from the New South Wales Department of Health. Unfortunately, most people aren't told of that process when they go into the program. And basically, if you're at risk of being kicked off the program, you have to put the complaint in writing, and generally what happens is people ring me up and I can help them write that complaint. The complaint then goes to the program manager, and you also send a copy to the Drug and Alcohol Directorate at the New South Wales Department of Health. While an appeal is in process, you can't get kicked off your program at all.
That's good. I've never known anything.
Yeah, and
that.
so this is so common.
You're not told anything unless you ask. And some people don't even know how the methadone's going to affect them, and it's all just sort of comes so sort of suddenly. And I think that's something that maybe has to try to be changed, that you're given information. Sure, you're given pamphlets and things like that, but that just says, oh, please do not operate machinery, you may become drowsy. It's bizarre.
So, Amelia, say for someone's watching and they're thinking of going on a methadone program, what sort of advice would you give that person?
Try and sort of, usually if you're thinking of going on methadone, though, you're at a crisis point in your life and you don't sort of think, oh, I've got to ask this and I've got to ask that. But if you can sort of try and go and speak to a doctor who you know you can talk to, and try to find out as much about it as possible. And also have maybe think about other options as well. You can't just sort of go and say methadone's going to be right for me if you don't know about the other things.
So it sounds almost like, actually, if you've got the time, actually going to speak to someone who knows, perhaps a drug and alcohol counsellor or someone at the community health centre, or even someone that you trust to know who's been through the same thing.
Definitely.
Or dare I say, even ringing NUAA.
Well, I think, just to get a plug in for my project, but
that was the next question.
Yes, thank you. I'm actually working in developing a model for consumer user client patient groups for people on methadone all around the state, and the major objective of that being that people on methadone are the ones that know how it affects them, what works, what doesn't, and people like me know how to work the system and what the policies are and what the rules and regulations should be and how you should be treated, and trying to blend the two is what I'm doing at the moment, so that the people on the program actually have input into when the clinics all of a sudden decide you can no longer smoke in there, or you can no longer bring your kids in dosing hours and stuff like that. The people on the program can say, well, our view is this, and also people find out when there's been changes in policy, like at the moment they're reviewing urinalysis, so that maybe you no longer have to, wee in a bottle in front of someone and stuff like that. So the information gets fed through. So go to people on the program in your clinic and say, hey, how do you find it? Who's the best person to talk to here? Because generally, if there's 10 assholes working in the clinic, there's one good person, and it's just a matter of finding that out. Because quite often people on methadone feel they're so used to lying, because that's how they've got to get ahead, and they think that they've got to tell their prescriber or the nurse what they think they want to hear, and they think that they want to hear that they're not using, when that's not the case. They
really
want to actually hear what's going on.
Help you,
And just to be given permission to say, hey, just tell the truth is sometimes all they need.
Susan, thank you.
Thank you, Sonja.
Amelia, thank you. If you are interested in going onto a methadone program and you'd like more information about methadone, particularly around the physical effects and the possibilities around how it affects the rest of your life, you can contact either NUAA, that's the New South Wales Users and Aids Association, from Monday to Friday at 10 to 6 on 369 3455. If you want information about detoxing or other alternatives as well as methadone, and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, you could contact the Alcohol and Drug Information Service, and they're a 24-hour access service, and they'll provide information about what services are in your area. Their number is 331 2111. That number again, 331 2111. I always feel like a commercial when I say that. Okay, next fortnight, I'm going to be talking about hepatitis C. It's a big issue that's affecting a lot of injecting drug users in particular. So until next fortnight, have a safe week, a safe fortnight, and next tape is Get It Together. See ya.
G'day, Vince Sorrenti here to give you the lowdown on getting it together and getting help if you're about to leave school. Did you know that there are two Australian government departments that can help you? The Department of Employment, Education and Training and the Department of Social Security. I see it, but I don't believe it. And between them, they can offer a heap of things to help you. Get it together! So what's the story? DEET can give you all the help you need with its Commonwealth Employment Service. That's CES if you're hip like Vince. So what's the CES? Well, it's unbelievable, Mike. I mean, they're the largest job agency in Australia, and they handle over 1 million job vacancies a year. It's the best place to get career and job information and heaps of other stuff. Once you've tracked down your nearest CES office, come on in. Everybody is welcome at the CES, including young people still at school and unemployed comedians. Mind you, you don't have to be young or unemployed to use the CES. Hey, yeah, you with a sad face, come up to my place and live it up. You beside the dance floor, what do you cry for? Let's live it up. Let's live it up. Zip into your local CES and ask where to find your nearest career reference or work information centre. They've got a humongous collection of career information. By using the colour videos, books and guides and leaflets, you can check out a whole range of different and exciting career choices. Finding a job isn't always easy. The first thing to do is to register with your CES. It's simple and painless, and it could be your first step to getting that job. At the CES, they like to talk with you and discuss your employment prospects, arrange for interviews and other assistance. It's their job to match people with the right jobs. And with Job Bank, the hot computerised job vacancy system, you've got the best chance of finding the job you want in the shortest possible time. The CES is a place where friendly, trained people can answer all your questions and point you in the right direction for the career of your choice. No hassles. If you're looking for a job, check out the self-service boards at the front of the office, where job vacancies are displayed on cards. The vacancy cards are arranged according to job types, with part-time jobs displayed separately. They can even give you a hand to find a part-time job while you're still at school. Not bad, eh? If you fancy a certain job, write the number down on the form provided and whip it over to the self-service desk, where someone will give you all the info. And while you're at the CES, get the word about the Australian traineeship system. It's a great system that provides excellent skill training for young people. For 12 months, you'll be trained on the job with your employer and off the job at a TAFE college or approved training centre. You'll get a weekly wage while you study and train for a traineeship certificate in such industries as hospitality, automotive, construction, retail and finance. With a traineeship under your belt, you're ready to take on the world. Another special service for young people are CES Youth Access Centres. Come in and get the rundown on job opportunities, career selection, education options and general assistance and support. CES Youth Access has specially trained and selected people. What they are trained to do best is to listen and to help. CES Youth Access can also give you all the info on job search training courses. These will help you find and hang on to a job. Your Youth Access Centre has all the details. Ask at your local CES for the location of your nearest Youth Access Centre. Youth Access, helping you help yourself. And here's something you'll want to know. You have to be signed up at the CES to be eligible for the DSS. No CES? No biggies! If you're not too sure about heading into the big bad world, why not hang in there at school? A complete education has to be the key to getting ahead. Just check out these facts. 1 in every 12 people who don't finish year 12 are out of work some 10 years down the track. But if you go all the way, this drops to 1 in 16 and goes down even further if you've got a trade or tertiary qualification. So that's the word. Stay at school. Get a better job when you leave. However, if you're having money hassles, this could be difficult. AusStudy is the answer. AusStudy provides financial assistance to students from your 16th birthday, whether you're at school, TAFE, university or college. Like most benefits for young people, this benefit depends on your oldies' income. If you want to know more about AusStudy, talk to your local CES office or your career counsellor at school or TAFE. They've got all the info. Thinking of leaving school. Great, but it's a jungle out there. It makes me wonder how we keep from going under. Ha 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 ha. And if you can't get a job straight away, you might need more help. There are over 200 social security offices around the country. From Wollongong to Toowong, Bendigo to Dubbo, Berry to Burnie, from Orange to somewhere near Punch Bowl. Oh, they are everywhere, man. Everywhere, man. Once inside, ask one of the staff for help. That's what they're there for. At Social Security, there's a heap of benefits available to us young groovers. These include the job search allowance, which is paid to 16 and 17-year-olds to help them look for work and learn new skills. Just getting into shape for the workforce, you might say. To make a claim, go to CES and register for work, and then come to Social Security.
Hey, let's go, let's go, let's go. Hey, let's go, let's go, let's go. Hey, let's go, let's go. She's the one, 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 she's the one.
You won't get your first payment for 13 weeks after you leave school, so make sure you register with CES and come to Social Security as soon as you leave school. That way you won't have a longer wait. Remember, like AusStudy, what you get depends on your oldie's income, and you must be looking for a job and visit CES once every fortnight. If you're 18 years old or over and can't find work, you can get unemployment benefit. To get unemployment benefit, like the job search allowance, you must register for work with the CES. Then go to Social Security, fill in a couple of forms and have a talk. Okay, so you're having a hard time at home. You've been kicked out, something bad went down, and you haven't got a job. Oh. Don't despair. Social Security can help with its young homeless allowance. It's for 16 and 17-year-olds who've fallen on hard times. And if you're at school, you can still get young homeless allowance under AusStudy. Whew. If you're sick or have had an accident, ask about the sickness benefit. Remember, you need a medical certificate. Social Security needs to know who you are. You can do this by showing 3 documents, such as an original birth certificate or extract, and school report or school reference, and driver's license showing your current address. You can also use a passport or bank book if you've got them. Remember, it's in your interest to always tell the truth. You can get in trouble if you're not straight with them. And if you're not sure about anything, just ask. Psst, psst, hey. Psst, hey, psst, psst, psst. Come here. So how do you reckon you find them? They're in the white pages! Up the front under Commonwealth Government! Got it, guys?
With you, Vince, baby!
The Department of Employment, Education and Training and the Department of Social Security. They really do care about you and your future. Believe it or not. So let's get it together with CES and Social Security. Catch you later.
Well, folks, as you're probably aware, this poster has been missing in action for the last few weeks, and I thought that something had to be done, seeing the floor manager wasn't going to get around to bring it on the show this week, so here it is. All right. Now, you may have noticed that we have a guest on Couch Potatoes Revenge tonight, and that is Keats. Keats, thanks for coming along. The reason I have Keats is because he tells me he's a keen and avid gardener. Now, Keats, you look like a bit of a green thumb to me.
Exactly right.
Come on, we practiced this. Go. Go. Now, what do you prefer growing, Keats? All right, we'll start off with the easy question first. Basically, I I'm talking about gardening tonight initially because I saw a little gem of a program on. Caught it at 6:30 this evening. Coincidental, that just before the show, eh? And it was called Gardening Australia. Now, it was on Channel 2.
Channel 2.
So you got minus a commercial, so it runs for a good 27, 28 minutes. Hosted by a man with a very unfortunate name, Peter Cundell, or Cundell or something. Nice guy. English or Welsh accent, I think. It wasn't English, it was variation on that. And he proceeded to spit out the most boring lot of dribble I've ever seen on television. Now, gardening shows can be good, can't they, Keith?
Yeah, of course they can. But I mean, don't forget, Gardening in Australia is also repeated on Saturday mornings at 11:30. So if you don't catch it on Fridays because you're watching this show, you can watch it on the Saturday.
Really, they repeat it on Channel 2?
Yeah, I think it's a week late, or the week before. It's got time. Do you know how Don's Burke's Backyard has it on the Friday?
Yes.
But on the Sunday, on the Saturday, it's the last week's one.
I think the reason for that is because most avid gardeners are probably out doing the weeding or something while the show's on, and so best time to plant apparently is at 6:30 in the evening. So anyway, the reason I call it boring, I don't want to be dismissive of gardening programs because every program has its niche. God, look at ours. But basically, the topics that they covered. I mean, there's only so much you can talk about lawnmower maintenance and beekeeping and, what flowers to plant in seasons. Do you find this, Keith, or do you find, no, look, that's of interest to me?
Yeah, some shows, but some show it covers some aspects of gardening and other shows, because they've got different segments, and the one that I really enjoy is when they maintain gardens over a period of time. Whereas they show the developing stages of
the
gardens.
before and after, kind of like those Jenny Craig things where you see the girl with the black jumper invariably before, and then they go into swimming costume after. Yeah. What's that got to do with gardening? Right, okay. One of the reasons for a well-maintained garden, funny you should mention that, Keats, has to do with compost. Now, I know you're a fan of compost.
Oh, am I now? Okay.
I see you watching this segment every week. And Peter told us, Pete, mate, told us that for compost to rot down properly, the trick is to chop the, say, cabbage stalks and other such things that are quite thick down into little bits. That way, the bacteria can cover all faces of it and help to erode it so as to produce suitable compost, rather than just leaving the whole stick or the whole stalk in by itself. The bacteria doesn't get to work on the stalk itself and erode it down into good compost.
That's got to do with that's got to do with ratio between surface area and volume.
Oh, look, here we go. The calculator on you, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well that's enough of gardening because basically Don Burke's really covered the market. Although
he's on a commercial station. Don't forget that.
I won't forget that. I also had my say a little bit earlier on about the Don Burke's show overlapping the cricket when the cricket's coming on from England this Ashes season, which I'm disappointed about. I mean, surely they can slot in Don anywhere else other than, prime time cricket.
Exactly right.
We happen to be the only sports fans on the show here tonight, so to get united we stand.
So yeah, well, this is our sporting section. On Mondays, there's the State of Origin is going to be on, and then on the Wednesday at 8:30, I think it is, the broadcasting from England would begin the first one-day series between England and Australia.
Indeed, the Texaco Shield.
Exactly.
I believe.
Yeah.
and how do the Aussies look? How do they loom this season?
Well, I don't think they've named their team at the moment, just yet. But we do know that England's going to opt for a younger side rather than an older side that they were talking about earlier.
Right, well, we have a couple of English people in the studio audience, and quite frankly, England couldn't do any worse than they have been doing recently. So younger blood, any different blood has got to be better than the blood that they have at the moment,
Exactly
surely.
right. But I mean, British, English county cricket's full of Australians anyway, so...
That's right, I mean, yeah, there's the wars and companies scoring hundreds. All right, is there anything else you want to get off your chest about sport while we've got you here, Keats? Because I was going to talk about something else.
No, I think that's it. Yeah.
All right. Oh, the Origin next week.
Oh yeah.
We might do a review of that next week, perhaps. All right. What I would like to talk about is a very interesting show that happened to crop up on Thursday night, dealing with fashion. It was the third part in a 6-part series, I believe, entitled "The Look." On The Big Picture, hosted by Annette Chounois. I feel like Richard Wilkins. And this particular segment was entitled "The Power of the Press," and what it attempted to do was show the huge influence that fashion journalists have over the trends we wear. I mean, I notice you're wearing a very crisp, clean Ralph Lauren type white number here, Kiet. What's the rationale behind that? Did that just come to you? You thought the look this season is short white shirts. Is that how it happened, or?
Okay, Nick. Yeah, that's right.
We're lost, Kiet. We're not talking about the liken it a bit to. No, I said that. All right. Yeah. So there was Annette Chounois. Introduced the show very competently. I'm a big fan of Annette's. Anyway, I might give you a few interesting statistics here, Kiet. Did you know that to advertise in a page of Vogue magazine costs approximately £14,000, and it can go up. Yeah, I know, he's speechless. The guy's speechless. But there are certain there are degrees of prices according to where the.
Is that a full page?
Yeah, full page, and if it's on the opposite side to a page of editorial and a whole lot of good stuff written about the garment, then it's worth more. And the outside back cover apparently is the most expensive page that you can buy on Vogue, and it's £30,000.
Which would be about 65,000 Australian.
Yeah, an incredible amount of money to flog clothes. But, I mean, it's interesting because the point they were making on the show was that really all these designers are dressmakers. I mean, let's face it. And the influence that they have... Sorry?
Yeah, they only make one of them anyway.
Well, yeah, that's the point. I mean, they make a whole lot of stuff during the couture season, which isn't designed to be worn. Really, it's just a promotional garment for their name, in essence. But their wearable and their saleable line of clothing, an interesting point was made that we basically go in cycles. I mean, in the 80s it was the dresses were getting shorter and shorter and shorter, you know, to the miniskirt level, and then by the early 90s there was kind of bits hanging off the dress. There were kind of no clothes at all, really. And they were showing some footage, which I don't know whether our viewers are quite up to watching that kind of stuff. But it was, you know, I mean, they was getting less clothes, and now, of course, the trend is going back again to longer type garments.
Even the flares are coming back in the
flares are back. Well, there you
in a bit.
A scoop for CTV. Kiet, where does this information come from? Who are you quoting?
There's little groups that you see wearing flares. They're just coming back in minority
the grunge look. Yeah, our studio audience is big on the grunge look, actually. You've noticed that. I mean, you're a man of style, and I'd like to think I am too, but I mean, our studio audience really... some of the stuff they wear in here we should bring in, actually. Some of these tapes and show them what to wear. All right, well, Kiet... What should we look at next week? What's on? State of Origin?
Yeah, we'll probably have a look at State of Origin next week, and probably the footy show that...
The footy show. Who's that with? Fatty, Sterlo, Blocker? Who else?
Rex.
Rex, of course.
Good old Rex, yeah.
Who got into trouble for saying he was going to go home and belt his wife after East beat Manly. Go Rex. All right. Well, that just about wraps it up here from Couch Potatoes Revenge for another week. We hope you'll join us again next week. I've been sent a lot of Tina Arena pages to be sent in to hand over to Erin, which I will do after the show, or after this segment. As you know, he's particularly keen on Tina Arena. And we're running a competition here on Couch Potatoes Revenge. Any pictures that you find of Tina Arena, send them in. I'll judge the best 5 in descending order and present them to Erin on screen in about 2 months' time. So be aware for that. All right, that's it for another week at the House of Smile, not the House of Style. and we'll see you next week. Keats, thanks very much for coming in.
No problems, Nick.
And maybe we might like to sync the bye for now.
Bye for now.
I'm gonna use my style, I'm gonna use my side step, I'm gonna use my fingers, gonna use my imagination, cause I'm gonna make you see, there's nobody else here, no one like me. I'm special, so special, I gotta have some of your attention, give it to me, cause I gonna make you see, there's nobody else here, no one like me. I'm special, so special, I gotta have some of your attention, give it to me. And when you walk, got brass in pocket, gunpowder, I'm gonna use it. Intention, I'm feeling mental, gonna make you notice. Got motion, restrained emotion, I've been diving, detailing, no reason, just seems so pleasing, gonna make you.
Jeff and Diane were a couple very much in love. On a perfect getaway trip. Perfect. At least until they made their first stop.
The hell is taking her so long?
Jeff Bridges, Kiefer Sutherland, and Nancy Travis star in a new psychological thriller from 20th Century Fox, The Vanishing.
It's a story of a fella and his girlfriend who go off on vacation, and they're separated for a few moments, and lo and behold, the fella's girlfriend has vanished. He can't figure out where the heck she could be. And he spends the next 3 years looking for her.
Look, he put up a new one. You know, every few months he replaces the posters.
Every 30 days, you can set your watch by it.
He must have loved her very much.
I do admire his perseverance.
He deals with a situation that ultimately becomes his obsession to find out not only what happened to her, but whether or not she's still alive or whether she's dead.
You know what I do sometimes? I pretend I have a choice. I have the power either to let her go on living wherever she is happy and never know anything about what happened to her, or she can be dead and I get to find out everything that happened to her. So I let her die. I swear to God, I wish she were dead. You do not know what it is like to not know.
How do you get through to somebody that you love who is obsessed with somebody else? How do you compete with somebody that's gone?
Go to the police. You can't do this on your own.
I'm a joke to them.
I hate to say it, but I'm starting to see their point.
Don't do this to me, not now.
You are amazing. Did it ever occur to you that maybe she doesn't want to be found? Goodbye, Jeff.
Go on, run like a coward. At least Diane was taken by force.
I am not Diane.
It's a real struggle, a real battle to overcome the influence of this man, Barney, who is, I think, instigating a lot of the trouble.
as a crucial setting to heighten the visual impact of The Vanishing, filmmakers chose the eerie landscape of Mount St. Helens.
I was very interested in using Mount St. Helens as a location. One is I think that it's fresh. People haven't seen it all that much in movies. Second of all, it's, I think, peculiarly elegant and apt as a metaphor for what happens with the characters.
What Mount St. Helens was is what happens in this picture. A force of nature, in this case Barney, comes along and completely changes this man's world.
Hello, Jeff. I'm the man you're looking for. I'm Barney. Barney Cousins is a lovely man. He's a family man, chemistry professor, the kind of guy that you would love to have over for dinner.
The cat and mouse story between Kiefer Sutherland's character and Jeff Bridges' character is a fascinating, complex, psychological war that takes many forms over the course of the story.
Tell me, is she dead?
I'm offering you this one chance to find out everything.
As most of my movies have had, in some way or another, always a very obsessive theme. Obsession, I think, is, I guess, one of the main themes of most of my movies.
I don't need a gun. Your obsession is my weapon. Just like you're my laboratory rat. I provided the materials, you built a cage. I love it when I go see a movie when you're sitting there and you never know quite what's going to happen next. And this film has got a lot of that in it. A lot of twists and turns.
Look, I just want to know what you did with her.
This coffee is drugged.
So she's not dead?
Drink, and you will experience exactly what she experienced.
Flatliners and Lost Boys. I've done a few movies that were scary. This one, I think, blows those away.
Is he dead?
Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Film Forum with me, your upbeat and striking host, Erin. As you've probably noticed from the previous clip, tonight I'll be reviewing a film called The Vanishing. I'll also be talking about Summersby, which we showed some clips from last week, but which I hadn't seen at that stage. So I'll be talking about that this week, as I promised last week. I'll also be reviewing a couple of it's a conspiracy. I'll be reviewing a couple of videos and talking about my $11 classic at the end of the show. I'll get straight into The Vanishing. This is like Summersby as well. This is an American remake of a foreign film, actually one made in Holland, which had the same name, The Vanishing. It was directed by George Slizer, who's also directed the American version, which is quite strange. The Vanishing was renowned in both Holland and America. It was a tense, incredibly nasty thriller and had probably, without doubt, one of the most unpleasant and sickening endings sort of ever that I've ever seen. I actually saw it on SBS, and the ending just leaves you feeling absolutely devastated. As you would probably know, Hollywood being as it is, and obviously not having a fondness for sort of unhappy endings, The Vanishing has been sort of compromised in the transition from Dutch to American. If you haven't seen the original Dutch film, it won't matter at all in terms of your opinion of the film. But if you have managed to catch up with the original Dutch version, you should know before you go and see this that the ending has been drastically changed. So I suppose it's better if you know that, so you won't be disappointed. So having seen the original, it sort of, you know, throws you off a little bit with this new version, but if you haven't seen the original, this is a great film. Even though I had seen the original, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think sort of Kiefer Sutherland playing, we've got a clip from it to show now actually, and I'll throw to that and then come back and tell you a bit more about The Vanishing.
You know, all this time my biggest fear was that he was dead. But now, there's things in this letter only he could know.
Jeff, he has seen your picture in the paper. He has seen you on TV. He wants to see how far you'll go. He's loving this.
Look, he signed it, Barney.
Barney. Are you kidding me? Do you really think that's his real name?
That's not the point.
You're right. And the point isn't what are you doing here either. It's what the hell am I doing here? Because it's never going to change, is it, Jeff? It's just going to go on and on and on until you end up as crazy as he is.
This letter is the first break I have had in 3 years, Rita.
Go to the police. You can't do this on your own.
They laugh at me. I'm a joke to them.
I hate to say it, but I'm starting to see their point.
Don't do this to me, not now.
You are amazing. Did it ever occur to you that maybe she doesn't want to be found?
Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that clip from The Vanishing, which, by the way, is courtesy of Hoyt's, and I'd like to say thanks for them for allowing us to show that. Back to The Vanishing. I'll tell you what it's about now. It's a story of a young guy played by Kiefer Sutherland, who, with his girlfriend, go on a sort of motoring trip across America, and while they're stopping to get gas at a crowded sort of gas station, she just seems to disappear off the face of the earth. And then sort of for the next 3 years, the Kiefer Sutherland character just spends all his time searching for her, going on TV, pleading with the kidnappers to tell him what's happened to his girlfriend, putting posters all over the place, and just sort of actually just becoming totally obsessed with not actually finding out if his not actually sort of finding his girlfriend, but more just finding what's happened to her. Sort of he's actually found a new girlfriend who's played by Nancy Travis, who was in a fantastic film Internal Affairs. So he's fallen in love with another girl. So it's not a matter of finding his girlfriend to get her back. He's just consumed with sort of the curiosity of what's actually happened to her. Eventually he's contacted by a man named Barney, who's played by Jeff Bridges. This isn't spoiling the shock because you find out early on that Jeff Bridges has actually abducted the girl. Jeff Bridges, probably one of the most underrated and definitely without doubt one of the best actors in Hollywood, given brilliant performances in things like The Fabulous Baker Boys and The Fisher King, just among many. In this, giving another terrific performance, but for Jeff, a very strange sort of character here. Barney is just a completely average sort of guy, and the fact that he's done this makes the film even more interesting. I thoroughly enjoyed this. It's extremely exciting, and if you haven't seen the original, it is definitely a must-see. Out of a possible $11 ticket price, I'm going to give this one an $8.50 because I did see the original and I was a bit disappointed about the sort of Hollywoodized ending. But if you haven't seen it, rush to see this, especially if you're a fan of anyone in it. It's terrific. Summersby, which you saw clips from last week. I finally caught up with it this week. This is the new one from Richard Gere and Jodie Foster, and it's directed by John Amiel, who made a terrific miniseries for the BBC in England called The Singing Detective. He's come over to America, made a few movies, including Aunt Julia and the scriptwriter, and this is his next one, Summersby, which, like The Vanishing, is a remake of a foreign film, this time one from France, which was made in the early 80s and starred Gerard Depardieu. And which was in turn based on a true story about this guy that comes back from the war claiming to be Martin Gere in this case. And Summersby has sort of moved that up to the Civil War, with Richard Gere returning from the war saying that he's Jack Summersby, the husband of Jodie Foster. Everyone believes him at first, but then doubts start to set in as to whether this is really Jack Summersby. So there's a lot of tension set up there, and you know, a pretty maybe slightly unbelievable premise for a film, though it is based on a true story, but one that works really well in the cinema. It's really well directed by John Amiel, and Richard Gere, one of my favourite actors probably, from Internal Affairs, Officer and Gentleman, and of course Pretty Woman, is in this, giving another terrific performance. And Jodie Foster, what can you say? She's probably the best actress around at the moment. She's terrific in this as well, but playing a more sort of subdued, passive character than most people are probably used to seeing Jodie play. It's a character nothing like The Silence of the Lambs or The Accused. It's a much more sort of, you know, romantic sort of passive character, but she's extremely good in it. Summersby, another terrific film. I had a good week in movies this time. out of a possible $11, I'll give this one $9.50. Like this one more than The Vanishing, actually, so it comes highly recommended. Moving on to videos now. The first video I watched this week is called Night Moves, a film which was on at the cinemas for a little while, not ages, didn't get a big release, but it's the latest from Christopher Lambert, who was in Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, some long title like that. A French actor, not a particularly good French actor. If you've seen Fortress, you would understand that Christopher Lambert's acting abilities aren't exactly in the same league as Robert De Niro or Al Pacino or someone like that, but he does have charisma, and he is lucky enough to be married to Diane Lane, one of my favourite actresses. Had a big crush on her when I was a young guy, The Outsiders and films like that, and it still lingers. So when I saw she was in this film, along with her husband Christopher Lambert, very lucky guy, I rushed out and got it. It's a thriller, sort of whodunit kind of thing, which involves Chris playing this grandmaster of chess who's contacted by this serial killer. Serial killer's very much the vogue in movies at the moment, who's going around and killing these women and draining them of their blood, you know, vampire kind of vibe. And he contacts Chris and says that he wants to sort of play a game of chess, but using these murdered women as pawns. So at first Chris is sort of seen as a suspect by the police, played by Tom Skerritt, who was in A River Runs Through It and a pretty bad film called Poison Ivy. And also playing his partner is Daniel Baldwin, that's right. Another Baldwin brother hits the screen, along with Stephen, Alec and William. Daniel's there. And he's not as good as his brothers at acting. He's pretty bad. But they're sort of trying to catch this killer, and, you know, it's a whodunit, and, you know, I'm not the smartest guy on earth, and I don't watch Murder, She Wrote, and I don't read Agatha Christie novels, but I did actually guess who the killer was about 10 minutes into the film. So, like, if you sort of read a lot of mystery novels, then, you know, there's not going to be much sort of fun in the whodunit of it. But it's a pretty enjoyable film. It's pretty dumb. When I was watching it, the credits came up. I nearly hit the floor that I'd wasted $5. I noticed that it was written by a guy called Brad Merman, whose last picture was Body of Evidence. Now, when I saw that this was from the same man that had written Body of Evidence, I mean, what can you say about Body of Evidence? Probably, without doubt, the worst film since Eddie Murphy's Boomerang. Has no redeeming values at all, and it stars Madonna, the most vile woman on the planet. I mean, Body of Evidence, you know, had nothing going for it. So I saw he'd written this film, and it's a big improvement on Body of Evidence, but it's still not a great film. So out of $5, because that's how much I pay for videos, see, I'm going to give this film $3.25. So you know, maybe you could wait till it comes to a weekly release and you won't have to pay as much for it. But then after I watched that, I watched a great film which I saw at the movies and was catching up with again. Now, this is not the sort of film that I usually like. It's about old people. People that I don't usually like to watch movies about old people. This is kind of in the same vein as Driving Miss Daisy and the film which is just open called Used People, which if you want me to review that for you, give me a free ticket and $10 and I'll go and see it. But at the moment, I'm not seeing Used People, so what a nightmare. Jessica Tandy, Kathy Bates and Shirley MacLaine. But the film I'm talking about is Fried Green Tomatoes, a big hit with the Blue Rinse set, apparently, and also, believe it or not, a big hit with me. This film stars Kathy Bates and Jessica Tandy, and also Mary Stuart Masterson and Mary Louise Parker. What it's about is this sort of unhappy middle-aged woman, well, not middle-aged, I suppose middle-aged, yeah, woman, played by Kathy Bates, whose sort of life is a bummer. You know, her husband's kind of a really awful guy, and, you know, she's having a hard time of it, you know, and then she meets this you know, feisty old lady, played by Jessica Tandy, doing her typical sort of I'm old but I don't care routine, meets her in a nursing home, and sort of Kathy's life is rejuvenated by Jessica's story. And this is where the film gets good, because Jessica talks about her life when she was younger, and that's when they bring in the younger and definitely more attractive actresses. And the story is sort of The story, and better actresses too. I think Kathy Bates and Jessica Tandy, despite their Oscars, are the biggest hams working in Hollywood at the moment. They are shocking. And I think Mary Stuart Masterson and Mary Louise Parker take them to the cleaners in the acting stakes. So it's talent as well. And she sort of tells Kathy these stories about, you know, her life in the South and murder and the Klan become involved. And basically, it's a really enjoyable film. You know, you can watch it if you're young, you can watch it if you're old. Actually, anyone can watch this film because it's terrific. And I really liked it. Though I must admit that the parts with Kathy without an axe is not as interesting. She was pretty funny in Misery. I think that the best comic performance since Wesley Snipes in Passenger 57. So the parts set when they're younger are much more interesting. They've got a lot more verve. So Fried Green Tomatoes, great film. I'd recommend it. And out of a possible $5, I'm going to give this one $4.50, and that's a pretty big score. So if I was you, I'd take my advice and go and see it. That's it for my reviews. I'm going to go now to my $11 classic of the week, which, if we could get a close-up on that with this camera. Got it? This film is Sex, Lies and Videotape, which is, to date, the most successful independent film ever made. It cost $1.2 million to make and recouped, I don't know, 50 times that much, making it sort of, in terms of profit, probably the most profitable film ever made. It won the Best Film Prize at Cannes. It stars James Spader, Andy McDowell, Peter Gallagher and Laura San Giacomo. I think that's how you pronounce it. And it's not sort of the film I usually... Not like Fried Green Tomatoes, not the kind of film I usually like. It doesn't have a body count. It's about sex, which I don't like to see in movies very often, somehow. It doesn't work on the screen. There's no sex scenes in this, but it's all about sex. So it's a bit embarrassing if you're watching it with your parents or something, which I wouldn't recommend. But it's a terrific film, beautifully written by Steven Soderbergh. It was actually his first film, and it's an incredibly confident debut. And the performances are just brilliant. Everyone in it is fantastic, and I would say, go to the video store and get this one straight away. But as it says on the cover here, it does have adult concepts in it. So if you're young and you can't handle adult concepts, don't see it, I suppose. But thoroughly recommended, Sex, Lies and Videotape. That's it for the show. But before I leave, I'd really like to thank Nick for his Tina Arena drive. Unfortunately, Nick doesn't share my good taste. But thanks, Nick, for that. Anyway, I'll be back next week when I will be reviewing, I think, Consenting Adults, the new film with Kevin Kline, and I will definitely be reviewing Singles, which is the new one from Matt Dillon. So until then, goodbye and enjoy your film going. Good night.
Sort of cultivating this minimalist vibe.
You could use a bookshelf.
Yeah, you think so? I don't know, they're all library books.
What are these?
Those are videotapes.
I can see that. Of what?
It's a personal project I've been working on.
What kind of personal project?
What?
What kind of personal project?
Personal project like anyone else's personal project. Mine's just a little more personal, I guess.
Who's Donna?
What?
Donna. It's Donna here on the tape.
Donna was a girl I knew in Florida.
Oh, you went out with her?
No, not really.
Why do these tapes all have women's names on them?
Well, I enjoy interviewing women more than men. It's iced tea.
Thanks.
Do you want some lemon?
No, this is perfect. This is perfect. So all of these are interviews, huh?
Yes.
Can we watch one?
No, no.
Why not?
Well, I promised each of the subjects that no one would see the videotapes except me.
All right. Yes, indeed. Well, congratulations for sitting through and making it to the end of yet another weird and wonderful, wacky, zany,
absolutely fantabuloso show.
Friday Night Wisdom Chambers Youth Review.
And you're probably wondering why we're blowing.
I am wondering
Because-
why you have assorted party hats and whistles.
Because tomorrow it's our director Shane Peterson's birthday.
Way to go, Shane.
He's
All right.
turning 87.
The magic 6-0. Well done.
So, can't wait for the century there, Shane. Anyway, next week's show, Nick. Next week's show. Big show.
Looks like being a whammer, but tonight's show, is it? Read the credits?
Oh, do we have to read the credits?
Yeah.
Right, well, tonight Gabby was our makeup person.
Thanks, Gabby.
Our floor manager was Damala Scales and Paul Testoni.
All right, Paul actually is my brother, incidentally.
Yeah.
Viewers.
On cameras we had Nathan McDonnell, Philip Harrington, and Zara was our...
Harrington.
Well, it
No
says
one gets
Harrington,
Phil's name
Harrington,
correct,
Philip
and I think that we do him an injustice every time we get his name wrong.
Indeed. Our tape operator was Zara Williams, and Mike did audio, and Shane and you did vision mixing, and our director was Shane Peterson, as usual, and as usual, our assistant producer was
Isabel Williams. Thanks very much, Isabel.
The mother of
all Friday Night Wisdom Chambers Youth Review shows.
And our producer was the gorgeous Zara Williams.
Indeed. And speaking of mothers, we have the mother of all competitions running, which you may or may not be aware of. Yes, that's right. This competition is we're now into its second month, and it's never looked back since the moment that this Guns N' Roses T-shirt was brought in. We've just, people have been
I
sending
feel
in
so bad
truckloads
because,
of mail.
I work here and I really want to enter, except I can't because I'm...
Yeah.
And that T-shirt was actually worn by Axl Rose. It smells too.
That's right, it's autographed on the back. You may not be able to see it here. It's written in black pen. That's the black cotton.
Yeah.
Quick shot on that. Yeah, that's it. All right.
Yeah. So you can actually, if you want to smell...
Yeah, it's his sweat, sure.
If you want to smell Axl Rose, then send in.
Send in and win. What you have to do to comply with the official competition rules for this particular competition is send in suggestions for the show. It's as simple as that. It doesn't get any easier, even if it's as simple as get off. That's a suggestion. That constitutes a suggestion, so go right ahead. And we've already been flooded with entries into the Tina Arena lookalike competition, and here's the latest one.
Actually, I was going to
That's called a sight gag.
I was going to bring my dog in, actually.
Yeah, Erin... Got a long way to go. We have to. I think it's a new segment. We're the Taste in Women segment with two no-hopers like Erin and myself.
We must talk about next week's show because next week's show
is next week, indeed, Gemma. Next week also next week is Darling Harbour, which constitutes a milestone in CTV viewing because we've never ever taken it. Thanks, Paul. We've never taken the show as such out of the studios, and that's what we are attempting, and I underline stressing the word attempting to do next, I believe it's Friday. So, for all of you who are, fascinated with the sets indoors and whatever, if you'd like to come along and take part in what promises to be a spectacular event, Darling Harbour will never be the same again, let me assure you. Do so. We're kicking off at what time, Gemma?
We're kicking off at 6:30, I think.
6:30.
And it should be finished by 9 o'clock.
Alright, so you got time to go out and rage afterwards, or see Hemi if that's your particular event. He's down at the Craig usually most Friday nights, so get along and support your community.
Absolutely, but it's going to be a massive show.
Certainly.
We've got a band coming in, we've got dancers and stuff as well.
Do we? What else do we have coming on in all seriousness, Gemma?
Well, basically we've got everything, every segment on.
Everything, right? Just about covers it all, doesn't it?
Because
Really?
But we've also got the El Naturals and a band's coming in, and a dance group from Dynamite Dance Studios right here in Surrey Hills.
Right, and there are rumours that In Excess will be playing and Elle Macpherson will be along. I haven't been confirmed as yet, but if you don't come along, you'll never know.
I'm not quite sure because Elle Macpherson's working at Stanmore McDonald's on Friday night, so that might be a bit too much for her. So,
well, yeah, we're going to have a Barbie and chicken sandwiches. Yes, indeed, it's McHappy Day, but we're not into
is it McHappy
corporate
Day
sponsoring
tomorrow?
here.
I thought it was next week.
Keats. So we're not going to mention the Golden Arch Corporation at all. Thanks, Keith. Next week also happens to be National Museum Week.
Does it?
Ooh, yeah. You didn't know that? Yeah, I came across that in a newspaper clipping. I thought no one will know about that, so I've just thrown that in to totally confuse you all, which I succeeded in doing.
Because I feel really enlightened now.
All right. Well, that's just about it for another week.
Yep.
So, like we said, get along next Friday if you wish to see...
To the amphitheatre at Darling Harbour.
Amphitheatre down at Darling Harbour, kicking off at 6:30. All your favourites will be down there. Yep. Gemma, Erin in person. The mind boggles, doesn't it? And apparently Dov's making a cameo as well. So look, Erin promised an hour of autograph signing after his segment, so get along for that. And remember to bring your Tina Arena lookalike posters as well.
And if you want to, you can also enter the Guns N' Roses t-shirt competition there.
Absolutely. And my Couch Potatoes poster competition as well. God, there's so many competitions. You lucky guys. All right. So that's it. We're signing off. Thanks for coming along, Gemma, tonight.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week on the Friday Night Wisdom Chambers Youth Review.
At Darling Harbour!
Now listen,
really.
desperate and dateless, what does that mean? Now listen, Julianne, the man was honest. He wanted company and he asked for it. What's
look,
desperate
I
or
like
dateless
it.
about that?
Most definitely. I think that's
Yeah.
fantastic. I think
I
it's
think
good
more-
that people can do that.
In the old days, they used to have go-betweens or matchmakers who did it for you, but we don't have them.